Welcome to another exciting video. Join us as we go down the crazy list of craziest world records of all time. If you love our work, give us your worthy feedback in the comment section below. And don't forget to click the bell button and subscribe to our channel. World records were meant to make us strive harder, to push our limits and achieve something new. But over the past few years, they have turned into a freak show. Here are 10 of the craziest world records ever. Number 10. Heaviest car balanced on head. John Evans of England has achieved popularity for his incredible record. He attempted a car balancing stunt. He has performed this feat many times for balancing an entire car on his head within various time frames. His record is balancing the car for 33 seconds, and he offers $1,000 to anyone who can beat him. Money talks, and there have been various attempts around the world to beat him. The car he used to balance weighed 160 kilograms. Evans is 6 foot 6 inches in height and weighs around 343 pounds. His neck has a circumference of 24 inches, which gives him the strength to achieve this incredible record. But even this does not assure safety. Even if someone else has a strong neck, the weight of the car can get a skull fractured. Evans uses a towel for padding. The slightest imbalance could bring the car on top of him. So far, this hasn't happened yet. Number 9. Most bones broken. Robert Craig Knievel jumped the last time in 1977, and he did not know that he had unintentionally made a world record during his lifetime. He had performed more than 150 motorcycle jumps over various hurdles. He had a mishap or crash during 18 of those motorcycle jumps. This resulted in him getting more than 433 fractures for more than 35 different bones. This was a world record. He fractured his skull, nose, jaw, both collarbones, both arms, both wrists, his sternum, every single rib, his back 5 times. In addition, he broke both ankles, some toes, his right shin, right knee, tailbone, left hip, and had his pelvis crushed and broken 3 times. Number 8. Farthest thrown by a car accident. We have to blame this one on Guinness World Records author, because the victim did not want that in any way. It was Matthew McKnight, a resident of Pennsylvania, who was struck by a car traveling at the speed of 70 miles an hour in 2001. Matthew was on a highway when the driver took a sharp curve and could not stop the fast car. McKnight had to go through a living nightmare. He was struck by the car on his left side, and he was hurled over the highway, the median, and the other lanes. He also had to pass a wire fence until he landed inside a cornfield. The terrific accident gave him severe injuries, to say the least. He got his pelvis shattered, his tailbone and left leg were damaged. The cruel landing also broke his right shoulder and dislocated both. He had to spend 2 weeks in intensive care and 80 days in rehab. It was during this time that he was given paperwork to attest that he had been found more than 118 feet away from the point of impact. Number 7. Largest airplane eaten. This is the only world record of its kind. Michael Latito is a legend when it comes to making weird records. He has this odd ability to chew up almost anything and eat it. This enabled him to chew up light bulbs, glass bottles, razor blades, and a lot of other sharp and not so nutritious objects. But he still had to eat normal food to stay alive. This odd hobby wore down his teeth, but that did not stop him. Why did he not die after eating all this? That's because his stomach lining was 2 times thicker than the normal person. His most famous record is of eating a full plane. He did so by eating a Cessna 150 in 2 years. He had to break all the parts by sledgehammer, acetylene torch, and a cutter. He chewed every single piece of metal and glass and swallowed them, including the engine. In 2007, he died at the age of 57 due to natural causes. Number 6. Most lighted fireworks strapped to the body. You really need to work hard to get the nickname Village Idiot. Todd DeFazio loves to make and break records. He wants to make more records than anyone, which will also be a new record. His most eccentric attempt was when he glued bottle rockets and Roman candles around his body and then lighted them all at once. Yes, the fireworks were low-powered, but this was still a stupid and dangerous attempt. He did not suffer any burns, nor did he lose any appendages. This is definitely not a wise record to try for. But people still try holding firecrackers during Halloween and New Year's, which causes 2nd and 3rd degree burns. It's just a matter of time before someone will try to break his record using more powerful fireworks. Number 5. Most live rattlesnakes held in mouth. The incredible Jackie Bibby holds this record since 2009. He achieved this by holding 11 full-grown snakes in his mouth from their rattling tails. He kept them in his mouth for 10 seconds until he spat them out and was able to dash away without being bitten. It goes without saying that snakes are definitely not happy when they're rattling. The risk was there. Snakes don't care if you're trying to break a record. We're pretty sure that some eccentric individual out there will try to beat this with black mambas. Why? Because they're scarily dangerous. But you should note that you can train an animal to become more tame than it would be in the wild, but you must never forget that they will still be wild and unpredictable. Number 4. Fastest weight gained. Yes, this person is from the United States. This record belongs to Donna Simpson, and she belongs to New Jersey. She had a weight of 602 pounds in 2010 until she set up a website where people would have to pay to see her eating food. She was determined to have the fastest weight gain. She was consuming more than 20,000 calories per day. She even decided to give herself a bigger treat on Christmas by consuming more than 30,000 calories. This also increased her grocery bills. By 2011, she had given up on the record and went on a diet. Number 3. Most prolific parents. Having 87 offsprings may seem unrealistic to you, right? But to burst your bubble, Guinness World Records provides you with an account for such an odd record. This was achieved by Fyodor Vasilyev, who was an 18th century peasant. He belonged to the Shuya district in Moscow. His 2 wives gave birth to 22 sets of twins, 9 sets of triplets, and 4 sets of quadruplets. Fyodor was born in the year 1707, and he began fathering children at the age of 18. Thankfully, he stopped for 40 years, but when he was asked about the account of his children, he said that all of his children survived infancy except 2. This is definitely an incredible number to be achieved at that time. When he was at the age of 74, 87 of his offspring were living. This incredible fact about him got famous all around the world. He was even asked to come to St. Petersburg to visit the Empress Catherine II. Who was the most prolific wife? Take your guess. It was the first one, but there's no account for her name, which is actually a shame because she deserves more accolades as she endured 27 pregnancies and gave birth to 69 children, while other 19 offsprings were birthed by his second wife. Number 2. Farthest distance thrown by a tornado and survived. Matt Suter was a high school student. In 2006, unexpected things came his way. On March 12th, he decided to spend his afternoon with grandparents at their home. He was enjoying his day until something terrific happened. He heard gusts of wind which turned into loud uproars. All of a sudden, the front door of the house was gone and the ceiling started to move. Soon the walls and everything around him was collapsing, and he was hit in the head by a lamp which knocked him out cold. His body was being sucked into a huge maelstrom. It was a F2 tornado which carried him more than 400 meters. Fortunately, when he opened his eyes, he found himself in a field. He was unharmed except a small wound on his arm. Miraculously, his grandparents survived too, as the heavy furniture provided them with the required support. Matt's flight is not without precedent. There have been various incidents where people were left unharmed amid the damage caused by tornadoes. Number 1. Highest blood alcohol content. The record for highest blood alcohol content belongs to a mysterious man who lived in Wrocław, Poland. One day, when he was going to work, he had an accident as his car crashed right into a tree, resulting in him getting gravely injured. When he was taken to the hospital, necessary tests were performed, one of which was blood tests. After getting the reports, doctors could not believe what they had just read. According to the reports, his blood alcohol content was 1.4%, which was way higher than 0.3%, at which death occurs. 0.08% is the legal limit for alcohol content in the blood to drive. When doctors saw the reading, they could not believe it and thought that it had to be faulty equipment. Therefore, they performed the test 5 times again and still got the same results. The patient died after 2 hours, but it was not because of alcohol poisoning. It was due to the grave injuries of the accident. This record's existence is already a dangerous influence for people with a weak mindset. However, the tree is still standing fine. We hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.